So where are you and Kody at right now?
Kody and I are divorced. We're completely separate. We're just gonna be friends eventually. And my heart was done being broken, and it felt, well, freeing.
How does something like this play out in the bigger family?
What a waste.
Get it.
Hey everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome back to my channel. It's Friday, July 22nd. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Sister Wives fans, are you ready for a brand new season? I know I am. I have been on pins and needles since the episode, the tell-all, the three-part episode, the three-part tell-all. You know, I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this day forever. It's like Christmas in July. Okay, I'm just kidding. But it is. It's July and it's like Christmas. Okay. Sister Wives is coming back on September 11th. You guys, I don't know why I'm so excited. I love this show. I know that a lot of the drama is fake and I know it's exaggerated, but man, I am super excited because we are going to watch the glow up of Christine. Okay. So they released a teaser today and they gave the date that it's going to be coming out. And the teaser is ridiculous. It's like a 10-second clip. And literally all it is it has 4 rings like hanging on one of the letters of Sister Wives and then 1 ring of it dropping. Obviously with the implication of the departing wife, Christine. So this season's teaser is that we are going to be dealing with and learning about what happened in the split between Kody and Christine. So let's bring you back up to speed about how the season ended last season and where we'll be starting again this season. So when the show ended last year, Christine had moved Kody out of their house, okay? This was after all of this time with protocol.
Get it.
This is after Kody, we're going to be like, the last episode, she moved all of Kody's boxes out. And she and Kody were like done because Kody had told her that he didn't want to have any intimacy in their marriage anymore. This followed the COVID protocols and all of these rules where he seemed to be favoring Robin over all of the other wives. And then they split up. She says she's not happy anymore. She can't do this anymore. She doesn't want to be with him. I mean, last season had the best clip ever. What does the nanny do? Because they had a nanny that lived with them, remember? Yeah. Or that went over to Robin's house, but you know, Isabel couldn't go visit Aurora and hang out with her siblings, but the nanny could. And then remember, the nanny gave everyone COVID, or at least exposed the family to COVID, and that's how everything happened. Yeah. Okay. So that was the last episode, basically, of like her moving everything out. And then we got cut to the 3-part season ending where they talked about the demise of the marriage. Christine talked about how she changed, how she said that before she had been in a situation where she was the peacekeeper. So whatever you need, whatever you want, I'll be there for you. But when she started to change that and became more assertive in what she wanted and what she needed, Kody didn't like that. And Robin at the time was all like, I don't even believe they're really divorced. She didn't even really try. The clip that I have, which is your favorite on this channel, the 10-second clip of Robin crying like, you know, and she's got snot coming down of her face. That is from that tell-all. So in the tell-all, that's when we learned about the split. They were divorced. She said they were moving on, blah, right? That was also in the season tell-all that Janelle said that she and Kody were good. Everything was fine, and they were staying together. Mary said that she and Kody were never going to get a divorce, even though there was nothing going on in the room for over 10 years. Do you remember that? Do you remember it had been 10 years, she said, a decade or more between them having intimacy? And Christine said, I didn't want to have a marriage like Mary. I couldn't do that. So we're going to pick up where all of the boxes left off. And Kody, for his part, was brooding in the tell-all. Remember, he was all like, I'm grieving. I swear he was going to go to a divorced man's club, even though he has 3 current wives. But I'm grieving the loss of Christine. And he was all like brooding and angry and like, I hate polygamy or something like that. I don't know. So the teaser. 10 seconds, you guys. It's not enough. It's not enough. The problem here too, you guys, is that this is so far from the present. In the present, Christine lives in Utah. She's all the way up north near Salt Lake City, near her family where she grew up. She's living near McKelty, who's expecting twins. Mind you, we haven't even met their first daughter. She hasn't even had the baby yet, I don't think, on the show. And she's living also near Aspen, and Peyton recently moved up there, and she brought up Truly. Now, what I'm going to be interested in out of all of this is to see how did the division between Truly, like how did Truly take it? Not that I want them to focus a lot of time on Truly because I can't imagine how hard this was. But if you remember, Christine did say that Truly kind of understood why this was happening and she was supportive because Mommy was happier. And Mommy does look happier, and so does Truly. Now, I'm sure Truly does miss spending time with her siblings, but Christine does go back down to Flagstaff. She was just there. She was in California. I wonder if some of the trips they've gone on are going to be on the show. So what I hope we'll see this year is what's actually going on with Coyote Pass. So what have you guys known? One of you after last week's video, you asked me, Katie, could you potentially look into the situation with Coyote Pass? Is Christine's property on one of the properties where they owe money? And could that be a reason why they haven't started anything with the property? Or does Christine's property hold where they're putting the water? So I checked the property records and I looked at the permits. And I just want to tell you something. As of yesterday, July 21st, there was no permits at all on any of the properties. None. No building permits, no utility permits. The last permit that they took was a permit for Janelle to park the RV on the property for the summer. That permit expired in December of 2021 and Janelle did not renew. There are no building permits. There are no utility permits. There's no bringing in the water permit, like no permits. Remember how he was bringing in that big tank of water and they were all going to share this big tank of water? I kind of am guessing that might have been for the show because there's no permit for that. I don't know if they need a permit for that. I'm assuming they would need a permit for that because you're putting water in the ground. So no permits tells me that we're not going to see any building on the show because we're going to be like literally when we pick up, it's going to be like the fall, the winter of 2021. That's how far we're going to be behind. A year, more than a year and a half. We're going to be a year and a half behind. I don't understand why Sister Wives is so far behind. You know, Welcome to Plathville literally was filming this spring, and they aired it a couple months later. They are going to be showing us stuff that happened a year and a half ago. Christine moved to Utah in November or October of 2021. Almost a year ago, she moved. And we're going to be in the winter when we start the season. I really wish they would like skip it, but what they do is they just film continuously and they don't stop and they don't put a gap. So they don't be like, well, here's what's going on since we last saw you. No, they actually keep filming and then they break it up into seasons, but then they only do one season a year. So then everything is so far apart. And I don't know why they do this with the show. Okay. So Sister Wives is coming back. Are you excited for the season? Are you excited for everything to coming up? And what do you think is going to be your biggest takeaway? Do you think you're going to learn anything? Are you going to be like, I already knew that? Are you interested to see if there's what the dynamics are within the family? See, that's one thing we don't know. We don't know after Christine leaves, like what happens, the texting groups, the family get-togethers. Like, what is that going to look like? How is Kody going to act? How are the sister wives going to act? How do the kids respond? There's going to be a lot of differences here. You're going to have, and then Christine's going to be a part of it, right? So you're going to have sister wives and the ex-wife. And then once this season's over and then once Christine leaves, does Christine then leave the show because she's no longer a sister wife and the show is literally supposed to be about Kody and his wives? Or does Christine stay on the show because it's Kody, his 3 wives, and his ex-wife? I have a lot of questions and I don't have a lot of answers. But you can tell me what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.